I'm sorry, Pauline.
One of the things that I think we really succeeded in terms of tone for the show, and it was something we worked on right from the beginning, was an ability to actually turn a scene to go from something extremely sad to something extremely funny. It was sometimes within the same line, and allowing that to actually unfold that way, and not always trying to hit the jokes and not always trying to hit the angst, of course, but to reach a certain level of pathos and but at the same time be able to laugh completely at the characters we're watching and falling in love with, because they can be completely ridiculous, just like life. And the fact is that these characters seem to be designed, the tone of the characters seem to be um, designed like people you know really, really well, because you get to see those aspects of people that you know really, really well. And you don't always get to see that in less dimensionally drawn characters on a lot of television shows.
Did you?
One of my own creation.
We had a fairly specific idea about what it was that we wanted in terms of the look for the show, and I was really trying to look for scenes that were staged in front of the lens, that weren't actually built on fancy cutting and effects. Although we did delve into that a little bit, but I mean, you'll see it like in episode 13, for example, when you're watching Aftershock, the comedy plays itself out in front of the lens, and it was an interesting discussion I remember having with James Dunnison about this, about not going for the clever shots. I mean, I didn't want David Fincher. I wanted Blake Edwards. That was the idea. That was the approach that we wanted to take with the comedy. And I mean, James pulled it off so well. I mean, it's beautiful, particularly the scene with the chase scenes. I mean, I thought were fabulous. And that was the sort of general sort of look of the show. We went with something that was a little darker, not necessarily, happy and fun and completely exciting for the entire run of the show. Although there were times when those things popped up as well. We just wanted to get a sense that the building was old and it was tired, and we approached the sound design with the same sort of idea, and certainly with the music.
I've held on to these dreams for so long.
Dan Ross composed the music so that it essentially was an aspect of the building itself, that somehow he had to feel what he was composing was actually being born out of the building, out of the walls, out of the floor, out of the pipes, and that was how we approached the sort of the look and the sound of it. The sound design as well. I mean, we added quite a few things in there. We really thought long and hard about what it is that we want to hear coming from other people's apartments, and this constant presence of not just a multitude of people that you're living with, but also a multitude of sounds of mechanics and wood creaking and roofs shifting and all sorts of things like that, footsteps and so on and so forth. And so the sound design was really built around trying to create an atmosphere and a character, particularly a character out of the building.
Tell me the water pressure's fixed.
Next week.
You had a week.
We tried to be consistent from week to week in terms of we figured that we could identify the building and see the building. We knew where we were in the building, so it was really important for us to leave identifiers there. So if you were in a specific hallway and near a specific end, you might hear the same woman practicing opera. You may hear in another part of the building somebody playing the piano, or a television set that's constantly like way too loud. Those are the kind of identifiers we wanted to actually keep intact throughout the building. Didn't matter where we were, that map was drawn out, and those particular sound design elements were followed throughout.